What is going on, everybody? Today, we actually are introducing a new series to the What's Your Hustle podcast. This is a mini series. We're calling it Marketing in Motion. And the idea behind this is we are actually going to be diving deeper into marketing, ins and outs, media, paid ads, a whole bunch of different topics. And we're really going to be getting to the root of a lot of these different strategies and mindsets and what we want to get done. So today, to kick off our first episode of Marketing in Motion, we have David Nips. I'll give you a little bit of backstory and I'll let him kind of lead the way and take it from there. David is a business that we connected with, and we are now actively working with some of our clients. He is a big name and does a lot of great work in the paid ads community. So David, I'll let you kind of go from there and introduce yourself and give your elevator pitch, and then we'll dive right into what we're talking about.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Matt, for having me on. I'm excited to be here. As Matt mentioned, my name is David. I'm the founder of Nips Media. We're a creative ads agency, and one of the reasons that we've connected so well is because years ago there were ad agencies where it was focused on bidding and metrics and A/B testing and all that kind of stuff. And while we still do that, the ads world landscape has turned into a whoever has the most volume wise and the most diverse creative is usually the brands that win, which is why we've connected and have grown so much over the past year and a half. So I'm excited to be here and share as much as I can with your audience.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would want to start off the mini series with anybody different. I think in the last year, we've grown a lot with each other. Yeah. And then also in our businesses, we've kind of turned a little, we've gone a little bit, started new courses or been on new paths, I guess is a better way of wording it. But the main thing is that have seen growth within ourselves, growth within our relationship. So it's nice. And that's definitely something where I think there's a lot to say that has come from that. I think we handle, I'll be transparent. We handle client work with who we work with. I think we do it in a smooth fashion. We won't go into too much details of how we navigate and all the fun things. Just know that David and his team are phenomenal. And we've really kind of grown to working well with them. So today we're going to jump a little bit into a little bit more strategy talk on paid ads and just overall content media on social media, right? We'll mainly focus on Facebook and Instagram because those are the key platforms right now. TikTok is there. YouTube Shorts is important as well. I think a lot of this will translate well, right? There's going to be a little bit different nuances with each, but the overall concept and what we're talking about will be able to kind of translate well. I think we'll just stick with Meta just to make it easier to kind of stay on topic and not make sure we're not jumping too much. So what I want to kind of dive into first, and we've talked about this a lot, is around strategy, and then understanding that just because you're posting doesn't mean that there's a strategy. I think kind of what I lead with is posting is good, but posting is not a strategy. Just saying I'm posting stuff on social media, it doesn't really that is the beginner step, right? The next is, okay, how do we make this an actual strategy? How do we make this put a little bit of structure behind it so that one, it's repeatable, and two, it's consistent. Those are the two key factors. But I'll let you kind of drop, what your thoughts are on it and what you've seen from your end.
Yeah, absolutely. So the way that there's two sides of the social media angle, right? There's the paid advertising side, which is where I thrive in, and then there's the organic side. And you'd be surprised, even in 2026, at the time of this recording, we have clients will come to us and say, how important is organic social media. Should I be doing that, or should I just continue having my office manager posting pictures during her free time a couple times a week just to keep the page alive? I hear that so often, as I'm sure you do too.
Yeah.
And then the businesses that are doing organic are saying, how important is paid advertising? I've tried Facebook ads before and I've felt like I've just lost money, or Facebook ads just don't work for my business. And the way that I like to explain it is it's a combination between the two. And there are very few instances where I would choose one or the other. And I'll explain how that works. With the organic side of social media, there's 3 different types of content buckets that you could look at them as. There's top of funnel content, which is designed for maximizing views. There's middle of funnel content, which is designed to go deeper with somebody who's following your content and build a deeper relationship with them, although it might not have that viral effect to it. And then you have bottom of funnel, which is trying to convert them into customers and leads, right? And so how does that pair with paid advertising? Well, the people that are coming in with the top of funnel, that are coming in and watching your content, those people are now engaged with your page, and your paid ads can retarget those viewers to get them to take action on something. And so a social media strategy that I love is when I can say to a business owner, post the best content you think is possible that's going to get views from your ideal customer, and don't worry about selling anything to them. Like when I go to your page, there's no selling. It's just talking and giving value and building up that authority with your people. And then let our paid ads come in and retarget those. So let the paid ads be the bad guy, your organic content be the good guy, and have that happen, and it turns into that cycle. But then the second thing is when you're posting organically on social media, you're posting for free. And let's say you're posting and you see an average of 500 views per video, but then you have that video that pops off that gets 2,800 views, that has 7 comments of people who are really enjoying, and it's getting saved and shared. You have those videos that pop off. Now, traditionally within 2 or 3 days, that video will fall off and lose the traction that it had prior. But now you can imagine where I'm going with this. You take that video and you run paid ads to it, and you can continue that for the next 6, 12, 18 months, depending on how much longevity it has. And so that's what I mean when it comes to strategy is there's a reason and there's a purpose behind everything that you're doing. You're not just posting to keep the page alive or keep active, and you're not just running ads for the sake of getting awareness or impressions. Everything has to speak with each other and have some kind of end goal at the end of it.
Yeah, it's got to be very cohesive.
Correct.
I think that is a crucial piece, because the important part in that is, one, from the side of things of when you're running ads, right? You want something when people click on the ad or they interact with the ad, say maybe it's a form that pops up or a button to learn more. Sometimes they're not clicking on that button. And I've actually got into it a little bit more to kind of, it's funny. We're in the ad business. We are in marketing campaigns. I still fall for ads sometimes, right? I'm guilty of, I'm my own target audience sometimes. But the idea is that sometimes they're not clicking directly on the ad, right? Sometimes they're going to the page. They want to see, well, is this business actually legit? Like, do they actually know what they're like? Do they have the reason? Like, so the first way they're going to do that is going to your page, right? Going to your Facebook page, going to your Instagram, going wherever they are, whatever platform they are, they're going to be going to your page.
Yep.
And we actually talk about this a little bit when businesses come to us and they're like, we're not getting a lot of traction. We need to redo our website. Well, it's like, okay, hold on a second. Let's think about this. So when people are seeing ads or seeing your content or engaging with you on social media, right? When they see the reel, when they see the content pop up, they're not going, oh, I wonder what this business does. Let me go check their website. The first thing they're doing is going to click on that little picture of you down at the bottom that takes them to your profile. So optimizing your profile, optimizing your social media platforms, one, it's a twofold. One is probably a little bit more cost effective than completely redoing your website. So that's ticket number one that we usually try to talk with. Sometimes the website rebuild is mandatory, right? So first, it's a little bit more cost effective to go the optimizing your profiles. And then the second half of that is, sometimes that's why you're not getting the traction. That's why you're not getting the interaction, is because they're getting to your page. They're seeing that you're not active. They see, oh, it's not really the company that's doing much, right? Depending on what the service is, that's probably what's hurting you the most, is because people are getting there and they're like, this isn't a real business. They don't really have a lot going on. And it might not be that extreme. They might just get to your profile page and go, well, they're not, I can't really tell if they're actually doing stuff or if they're good at what they do. So I'm just going to move on. And then now here they are back to the next thing. And now they're getting targeted by other businesses, they're reaching out, whatever. So the idea is like, instead of worrying about like, hey, I'm going to just kind of throw stuff out there, I'm going to make sure my website looks perfect. It's like, start with the social media, especially if you're running ads. Like, that's the step. That's the first step people are looking at, besides the landing page, besides the form that you're putting on the ad, right? When they start doing their investigation, they're going to your profile page first before they're going to their website. Usually, from my experience, it's I'm clicking on the landing page. I'm going from the landing page to the profile of the account, right, that is running the ads. And then from there, if they have a website linked, then I'll go to the website at that point, right? So you want to have it optimized to where it does look good. You have information. There's little pointers that we've helped with different companies that play into this, right? The what, how, and why videos, having those at the top of your pages, and what you do, how you do it, and why you do it. Those are crucial, because now if those are the pinned posts at the top of your Instagram, those are typically the videos that people are going to click on first. And now you have your website in the description. So they're watching that. Now they're going to your website to look at portfolio pieces. It's a full kind of layout of who you are and what you do and how you do it. So that is my mindset behind making sure you're posting, having a strategy, because one piece of content is important, right? Getting in front of people. But think of your social media as more of a catalog, not I'm going to go viral with this one clip and I'm going to get all these clients and it's going to be great. No, it's a supporting cast style. Your content on your page is supporting when people get to your page. And that's the important piece. And that's why, just like we were talking about before, is like, it's good to just kind of throw up random pictures, but having a strategy behind it is important.
I can actually give three real, I could give you 15, 20 examples, but I'll give you three that come top of mind of clients we work with. The first one is actually one of our mutual clients. You weren't here for the call. You weren't in the call yesterday, but they're a weight loss in-person clinic business. And we were talking about different advertising strategies and avatars and people we want to be connecting with. And we were talking about age groups. And they were sharing a story about a lead that came through their paid ads at some point, who was, I believe the person was in their mid-30s. They saw the ad and they referred their parents to the business to go in and learn more about the weight loss process. And they ended up signing up as a customer. And then the owner was telling us about how that person then watched a YouTube video of the doctor talking about something specific. And she shared, she's like, I didn't think it was for me, but after watching that YouTube video, it convinced me that even my mom, I wanted to refer her, but also I wanted to get into it myself. And so that was I'm like, I hate when that happens. Like, 'cause we talk, sometimes you hear like theory but when you see it happening live, it's so cool. Another client example I have, too, is we work with a client that has a softball pitching membership, online membership program. And we run ads promoting her academy, which is $57 a month, and run ads to it. But when people click her page and they go back to her page, she posts tutorials every single day of how to do the fast pitch, how to do the curveball, how to strengthen your shoulder strength. And she's just constantly posting these short videos. Social proof. Oh, she knows what she's talking about. Let me go back and now sign up for her academy. We have another client who promotes physical sourdough products that I know you've bought from. Why? It's because you see an ad, you go back to her page, and she's posting recipes. She's posting these videos that just make you hungry for bread and how her products are a lifestyle. And so, do I have the data to back this? No. But I'll tell you, after working with hundreds of clients, that there is a correlation between social media effort and paid ads results. I will tell you that time and time again, whether you're a small business that caters because you're a plumber in your local area to a global e-commerce store, there is a correlation. And if the ads aren't working for you, it might be that putting some effort into social media can help with that. And if your social media is not performing, it might be that you get more views on your social media because you're driving traffic to that. There's a correlation between both of them.
Absolutely. Because it goes the other way also, where, somebody sees your ad, they're interested in what you're doing. They're not ready to buy right there, but they don't want to lose the connection. They don't want to, they don't want to have you fall into the algorithm and never be found again. They liked what they saw in the ad. So now they're following you. They're liking your page. They're interacting on the organic side. And now you're using your organic content to nurture them, to get them to that point of wanting to work with you, wanting to move forward with the sale. So this kind of ties into a little bit that organic and paid ads, right? So, I hear it all the time. You probably hear it way more than I do, but, I'll ask, are you running ads? Are you doing any type of paid, marketing? What's going on? And the consensus that always comes back is, well, we've tried boosting posts, but, we don't really, we haven't seen anything. I feel like it's just a waste of money. So, to kind of set the story straight and talk a little bit more about what it is that we're trying to help with, is boosting compared to an ad campaign, right?
Yeah.
I think one is more serious than the other. I think one, there's a lot more benefits than the other. I think, if my overall opinion, and I sell it to businesses that we work with all the time, stop doing the boosted post. You're taking the money, you're just donating it to Meta. You're donating it to Facebook and Instagram. It's not worth, right? You might get occasional traction from it. You might get increased numbers. It's a little inflated because what's happening with a boost post compared to running an ad campaign, from my understanding, is with a boost post, you're going in there and you're saying, okay, I just want it to get to a bunch of people. I don't care who it's getting to. Whereas an ad campaign, you can target. So with a boost post, it'll push it out to however much money you want to put towards it, right? $10, $20, $30. That might get you, 10, 15, 100, 2,000, 5,000, whatever that view correlation is. But of those people, are they actually people that need your business? Are they actually people that want to work with you? Are they your target audience? That's where the difference comes in. So, I guess my question to you is, do you see that from your perspective with the ad campaigns, right? Do you incorporate boost posts with your ad campaigns? Like, what are your thoughts on those?
Yeah, great question. I'm going to give you a little bit more of a detailed answer than you asked for, but I think it's going to really help the audience. So when we're working and we're working on an ad campaign that we want to do, it usually doesn't start with run ads, get leads, and that's where it ends. Step one, and what I recommend, is create a visual of how do customers happen from my ads. And so what I recommend is open up a whiteboard on your wall, or get a piece of paper that you can physically write on. Get everybody involved in the process around the table. Get your ad guy, aka somebody like me. Get your creative guy like Matt. Get your salesperson, whoever's going to be working the leads there.
Your setter, your closer,
and the person who takes
that
it.
is.
Get everyone around the table and say, we're going to sit here and we're going to map out how customers happen. And what that looks like is somebody sees a Facebook ad, they click the ad. Then they go to this landing page. The landing page tells them this, and there's a form down here that they can fill out. Some people will read the landing page and leave. Some people will read it and they will fill out a form. When they fill out a form, they go to this thank you page. When they fill out the form, they're also added to this email sequence. They get this automated text, and this person is notified that a lead came through. That person is going to call the lead. If they don't answer, they're going to leave this voicemail. You get the idea, right? You're creating a full visual of how do customers happen after somebody clicks an ad. And this is a good practice for every area that you get customers in your business to have a different visual, and there will be some overlapping things. Once you've built that out, step number 2 is to create a scorecard where each metric involved in this is tracked. What is my cost per click on my ads? Of the people that go to my landing page, what percentage of them fill out the form? Well, you can take your cost per click, times it by the percentage here, and that will tell you what your cost per lead is. If it costs you $1 to get someone onto your page, and 20% of the people are filling out the form, 1 times 5 is $5 is what it takes to get a lead. Then you see, okay, of the people we're calling, how many of them can we even get a hold of? Well, like that drops to 50%. All right, so now to get a qualified lead costs us $10. All right, of our qualified leads, what percentage of them actually convert into a paying customer? 25%. Okay, 10 times 4 is 40. $40 is what it costs. You work the numbers, and that will give you the ability where you can improve. Because very rarely, no matter how good of a company you're working with, will you launch something and it will work perfectly from the first dollar spent. Usually what happens is you'll say, okay, our ads are performing really well, but our landing page, there's some leakage here. Okay, let's change the headline. Let's change the video. Can we get people to watch more of that? Or let's add a qualifying question down here, etc. Or, oh, our leads person is taking 19 hours on average to call the lead. Can we get, Samantha, can we get that down to 30 minutes? Okay, great. Now more people are answering. And then at that point, once you've gotten to a point where it's super dialed in, you can start to scale something upwards. And so how does that correlate back to boosting posts and creative? When you boost, very seldomly have I ever, or I don't think I can name one instance that I've ever met a business owner who was boosting posts who could tell me how customers happen in a visual representation like that, or that they could give me any benchmarks of numbers that occur afterwards. Boosting from all angles of it is paying for more views. So if you're somebody who wants somebody to look at a post and see a higher like count, a higher comment count maybe, or a tangible higher view number on there, boosting posts will probably accomplish that for you. But if you're a business owner that wants more money in your pocket, more revenue, which is what I care about, I think that's what you care about, then running a professional ads manager is better. And then the second thing is the amount of times that I scroll, I see an ad for something, and then I buy it is very few. You have to be like somebody who is like on the edge of buying and it just hits me at the right moment, like a unicorn moment of time that will happen. Usually it's I see 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ads until I buy. And when you're boosting posts, you're boosting one individual creative and piece of copy. When you're running ads in a professional ads manager, you can have 12 different images running at one time. Because I'll give you something that I've been really hot on right now, Matt, has been, because it's happened to me so many times recently, where just the other day, my wife and I were talking about maybe getting a meal prep company service that can provide daily lunches for us while we're in the office. Cool. Lots of people look for that kind of thing. So I went on Google and I looked up like meal prep companies and I was just clicking around. Didn't buy anything yet. I go back to Facebook and my feed is flooded with like 12, 15 different meal prep companies that are marketing their service to me. And that will probably occur for the next week. And then if I don't continue engaging with those, that will probably taper off. And so why do I say that? Well, if you're not presenting ads in that mix, you're going to be forgotten about. And a boosted post is not going to do that. And so many, many, many different reasons why I can say boosting is not the right thing to do. But number one is it's one piece of creative where you need 10, 12, 15 running at a certain point. And number two is you need to have that visual representation that you can track. And if you don't have that, you're quite literally taking money out of your wallet and putting it in the trash can. So
yeah, I agree.
You can see I get emotional about this.
Yeah, no, you bring up some really strong points because you're right. You know, there needs to be some type of strategy behind it, because if whatever you're doing in business, whether it be paid ads, any type of marketing, trying to generate leads, you have to collect the data. You have to first figure out the plan, figure out what you want to do and how you're going to do it. And and then collect the data while you're doing it. Because if you're doing something, you're just throwing it out there and not collecting data, you're not getting any information that drives the thought, right, that you're tracking. That means you're just kind of putting it out there and you don't know if it's generating a revenue, if it's like making you money, right? If it's actually worth the time in doing, right? Now, don't get me wrong. There's some things that I do, even from a professional, personal, whatever level, where I'm like, I don't care if this makes me money or not. I
Yeah,
just enjoy
sure.
doing it, right? A good example is like video games. I know when I get on and play video games, that is something that I'm not going to get family time. I'm not going to get business done. I'm not going to be able, I'm not connecting with people online through video games and trying to get a sale. This is not
Yeah.
realistic, right? We're there to have fun anyway. But the idea is that what really, and I bring this up because I was starting to track my time a little bit more, right?
Mm.
I'm investing my time into the different things. And I started noticing, well, I'm putting a lot of time into playing video games. Let's see what happens if I cut that in half.
Mm.
And immediately I saw a return.
I
I
love
said,
that.
okay, well, let's see what happens if I cut that. Now let's cut it even further. And I saw even a bigger return. Now I'll occasionally play video games once or twice a month. There's other factors in play there, right? I have 2 young kids. It's just, time is precious. But the idea is if you're not tracking, if you're not gathering the data, you're not going to see that. You're going to see it as, okay, I just do this thing for a couple hours every night. Okay, well, what's that on a week time frame? What's that on a monthly? What's that on a quarterly? Right? How much do you think you can get done if somebody's like, hey, I have an extra 40 hours for you in Q1? You can probably get a lot done with that, right? Spread that across the different weeks. That's very important to kind of keep that mindset.
Yeah.
But you did bring up something that kind of I want to kind of dive a little bit deeper on. Is you talked about the people bringing the different people to the table, right? Your creative, whoever's making the creative, your ads guy, or ads company, the person that's going to be handling the sales, right? Having them all involved, which kind of goes into the next thing I kind of want to dive a little bit deeper into is hiring one person compared to a marketing team, right? And when I say team, somebody that's creating the copy, putting the ads together, doing the visual, the media, rather photo or video, right? And having a full team at your disposal compared to, yeah, we just have our receptionists. They'll run our ads. They'll post organic content. They'll film, they'll kind of run everything. And that's a task that they have. What are your thoughts? And I have a feeling I know your thoughts on it, but I want to kind of dive a little bit deeper into that because I think starting out, right, something is better than nothing, right? So having that person that is doing that. But what are your thoughts on the one person compared to working with a team?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great point. I mean, it depends on where your business is at economically. And so if in the case that I would ever, let's say hypothetical, somebody set on, I want one person in-house who can sit next to me and do that. Well, if you're set on that, make sure that you're at least finding what we call a T-shaped marketer, which is where they can go deep in one thing, but they have a knowledge in everything else. But for me, I'm always big on having a team, partially because I run a marketing company, as do you, and I know the benefits of it. But also, I want to be able to tap somebody who specializes in only that. And I'll give you an example. So with your and I's combined team, there's Matt, who knows everything about visuals. When I met you, you were the first time I've ever really went into a professional studio environment. And every moment since then that I continue doing content in my own office here, I'm like, my content looks like crap. You know what I mean? But I didn't know what the standard was until I was able to see it in person, right? So it elevated my thought. But also, you don't probably want Matt running your paid ads or sitting behind the computer and doing that for you. That's where somebody like me comes in because I live and breathe that. I know I have the 10 years of experience of things not to do to make up for all of those mistakes. Going deeper, I have somebody named Chelsea on my team who does copywriting. All she does is written word, and the list goes on. And so if you're looking at investing in a marketing team, I think, like we talked about before, everything has to come down to the numbers. And so let's say we'll give a hypothetical, you're in-house person or you running your marketing versus an agency. And let's say if you're running your marketing, doing your own videos yourself, writing your own copy, while also simultaneously operating your whole business, you're able to figure out how to get leads for $26 a piece. And going all the way down funnel, you're converting 10% of those leads. So your acquisition cost is $260. You hire Hustle Productions with an ad agency, and because they're actually looking at your ads daily, they've made the mistakes, they create better looking ads, they're able to get you leads for $13 a piece, 50% of what the original 26 was. And it's the same 10% conversion down funnel. Now it's $130 versus the 260. Well, are you doing enough volume where if you're bringing in 82 leads a month, double the conversion rate down funnel, how much do you make from that customer? What are you paying in a fee to the agency? Does the math? And when you're working with a company, first of all, you have to hold them to the expectations of that. But secondly, to answer your original question, yes, it typically makes sense to have a team of experts doing things because I love marketing. I know all of this, but for me, being able to work behind the camera, and I've spent a lot of time with you, it's just not my expertise. I was like texting you where I'm like, man, I got my camera set up in my teleprompter. You're like, great job, David. Imagine me being a dentist or a real estate agent, having even less knowledge of that stuff. It becomes game over at that point.
No, you're exactly right. And, there are times where like it makes sense and to kind of start out, get the ball rolling. But I think the biggest thing is like, it comes down to return on investment, not just with money, but with time. Do you want to take the time to go through and do all of these crazy things? Do you want to take the time to go through and learn all of these different things? Or do you want to say, hey, look, I know I could probably figure this out, but it's much easier if I outsource. I bring somebody in that can just do it efficiently. And now I can go work on another piece of the business. Or what I tell people all the time, now you can go enjoy doing what you enjoy. You don't have to be looking at the campaigns. Because the other part of it is that for you to get what you want out of it, right? For you to get that return that you're looking for, sometimes there's a lot that goes into it. Looking at the campaigns, looking at the data, looking at KPIs, figuring out what's working, figuring out what's not. Okay, well, if this is working and this isn't, how do we adjust? Where do we put our ad spend, right? And then also, you got to keep coming up and kind of reintroducing or re-putting ideas out there, because especially in the world that we're in today, ads get stale quick, right? So you want to be refreshing, but at the same time, right? Here's your curveball. Sometimes there's an ad that does so well that it will just keep performing for months, right? And you don't have to change it, but you don't know that until you look and see what's going on behind the curtain. And sometimes people just don't have enough time to fully invest into doing that. So that's where it makes sense to bring in the team. And then also, if you want something done efficiently, that's the route to go as well. So
I'll give you a great example that is a little bit easier for some people to comprehend. Is I like to use the comparison of hiring a marketing agency to hiring a financial advisor. Meaning, let's say you have an IRA, a 401k, a financial account. You hire an advisor to manage it for you. I wouldn't advise to only looking at your portfolio quarterly or annually. What I do is every week, open up the app on my phone. It will take maybe 12 minutes to do. Look at it, see what the performance was over the last week. Go into the activity. Okay, he sold that. He bought that. And sometimes if I don't know what it is, I'll Google search. What is this company? What is this index fund? What is this mutual fund? Okay, that makes sense. Maybe ask a question here or there, and then I move on. But if I see negative performance or things, I'll ask questions. It's the same thing when you're a business owner hiring a marketing agency. No, it does not mean have your foot completely off the pulse and have no idea, no comprehension at all of what these people are doing. No, you want to be tracking weekly. Have that 12-minute, let me pop in, look at their metrics, ask questions. But also, I'm not reading earnings calls. I'm not looking at what is the CEO doing of this company. Are they going to be maybe moving in the next week? Are they product developing? No, that's what the financial advisor is doing. He's spending all day researching and thinking about numbers and blah, blah, blah. I'm just holding him accountable and asking questions as the owner of the portfolio. It's the same thing with a marketing agency, just in a different way.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that's a very good, strong example. You definitely, keeping people accountable is huge, right? Asking the questions, learning as you go, right? Learning, what are we looking for? What's the idea? Because one, it brings more to the table, right? As the business owner, you know your business the best. You might not know how to put the ad together. You might not know how to put it on camera, but as you learn the process, you might say, hey, what about this idea? Right.
Yeah.
And that might be one of the best ideas that go out there, because hopefully you understand your business better than everybody else, because it is your business. Right.
Yeah.
So I think having that, but to get to that point, you have to kind of understand it is a team effort. You have to get to that growth, and let the professionals do their professional work, and then you grow from that. Right. And then the other side of it is it's going to open the door for you to be able to, if you want to sell more, go sell more. If you want to go to more events and network, then go network. If you want to, just sit back, and there's some people in their business, they just want to sit back and just enjoy what they're doing, then that's fine. Then enjoy what you're doing, and let the team handle everything. Go on vacation, whatever it is, right? However you have your business set up. I think the key to that is having a good team or foundation under you, so that you can step away. You can do those things, or you can focus in what you enjoy doing more. Do you want to start a podcast for fun? Do you want to pick up a hobby, do something outside of the business? Now you're getting that time back because you're bringing in the right people, doing the right things. So,
well put.
David, I think this was a good, strong first episode. We set the bar really high. I think we went over some really solid information. So I appreciate you jumping on. And just to kind of give a little bit more context to everybody that's paying attention, this is going to be a series. This is something that we're going to be jumping on. David and I, we have a couple others that we're going to be working with as well. So it might, next episode might not be David. It might be, our lead photographer jumping on. It might be our web development partnership that we have. The idea is that we're going to be covering all different sides, all different aspects of marketing, paid ads. It could be a graphic designer putting together mailers, right? Something, wherever that fits into the marketing field, wherever it fits into marketing plans, we want to kind of dive deeper into it. So, David, I appreciate your time, and until the next one, thank you guys for watching and or listening, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah, thank you so much, Matt.